Okay. Okay. So guys, we already passed like a Monday only. We started a we should started a Windows server, but I didn't start Windows server. And yesterday, how to complete the first part of Windows server. So Windows server only 3 days. Okay, but it is third day. So whatsoever it is, I think everybody installed Windows server. So compulsory, guys, everybody must install Windows server. Okay, so all your mainly. Okay, all your this 18 members. Still, I didn't receive all the Windows Server pictures in the group. Okay, so if you are complete Windows Server, take a picture, put it in your group. Okay, so this is important. For Windows Server practicals, we need two machines. One virtual machine. So here it is. One VM. One VM for a Windows Server. Okay, one VM is a Windows Server. I'm using 2019. Okay, and one more VM for Windows 10. Okay, one another VM for Windows 10. Two virtual machines required at a time, both should be run. Then only we can do this practical. For installation, while you are installing Windows 2019 server, you can turn off Windows 10 also, no problem. Guys, remember 4 GB RAM candidates. Again, I'm telling 4 GB RAM candidate, 1 plus 1. It means 1 GB RAM for Windows Server, 1 GB RAM for Windows 10. 1 second. Okay. So if you have a 8 GB RAM, you have a 8 GB RAM. So you can use 2 plus 2. Depends upon your RAM availability, guys. I'm not saying like you should use, you can use 2 GB plus 2 GB like that. I'm not saying it. I'm saying very simple. Depends upon your RAM availability. If your physical RAM availability is more than 2 GB, then you can go for it. Okay. So already I told, and we informed that's like a better you should upgrade for these practicals. Okay, guys. So today afternoon also we have a little bit free time, I think so. So we'll see that thing. Okay. I will tell in afternoon part only. So about afternoon class. Okay, there are not. But so what I'm saying is make sure that you should complete a Windows Server and Windows 10 practicals on time. Okay, this is the structure is required. So if anybody is still pending, if you have any problem, please tell me. Put in a group because of this kind of problem, you are unable to do this practical. If you got any issues while you are doing practical, please complete it. So if you waited a long time, let's say, okay. If you waited and you didn't can't complete a practical, you don't get a time also. Okay, you don't get a time. Because practical things are only four things: is a Windows 10, Windows Server, Linux, okay, and SQL. Of course, next one is like a Python, PowerShell kind of stuff is also there. And again, that storage and all, not much really practical parts. Okay, so don't waste your time. Just complete the practical. Okay, so otherwise we have to come and check the whether you're done or not. So I have to ask each and everything. It's not good like we are asking everyone. It's like checking your homework. That is not good. Don't go with that attitude. You are a professional. You are done engineering. Okay, or any graduation. You are graduate people, right? So that's first thing is keep it in mind. You're just already professional. Okay. So we don't need to comment check. Comment check means you don't need to ask you like, are you done with this practical or not kind of stuff. So compulsory complete it, guys. That's what I'm saying. Okay. For this thing, we needed 2 machines. Guys, yesterday and day before yesterday, also I show how to install a Windows server. That's it. Okay. So we didn't show. I think. Okay. I told about certain Windows Server roles. What is Windows Server and what is Windows Server roles and features kind of stuff. We discussed it. Roles, or we can say services. So here is a question. What are the Windows Server roles or a Windows Server services? So answer is you can able to tell. So Active Directory domain services. Directory domain services, which is short name is ADDS. Okay. DHCP, DNS. Okay. WDS, WSUS. Okay. WDS, WSUS. Remote access. Remote access. What we discussed yesterday. So remote access services means this is for a VPN and LAN routing. Like a bridged kind of networks we can able to create it. Okay. Of course, there is supported a network access. Network policy services are important. IIS is a web server. IIS is a role used for web servers. Okay. Deployment server. This is a deployment. Deploy OS. Deployment server. Okay. Deploy OS through network. DH. Network. Deploy OS through network. Update server. Okay, it is a deployment server. It is a update server. Just I'm giving the idea of server. It is. DNS means domain name system name server. It is. Okay, we can say name server. Okay, it is a IP addressing server. Okay, DHCP server. Okay, authentication server, user management and authentication server. Okay, like this. So you can tell Hyper-V. You will get a Hyper-V role. So we can create a virtual machines. Okay, using Hyper-V, you can able to create a virtual machines. File and storage. This is a very big one. Standalone server. This is file and storage servers for managing iSCSI targets. Okay, work folder. Work folder. Another one is their iSCSI work folder. DFS. Data deduplication. Like this. So already we discussed all these things. Guys, it's an important role. What are the Windows server roles or services? These are the main services. Is it required to tell all the services or only some of the services are there? Guys, highlighted services compulsory. You have to speak about it. Like web servers, DHCP, DNS, Active Directory. Okay, like that. So you have to come first. Is which one is your understand more? That one you have to tell. Next one, guys. Here it is. The first one we are going to discuss is what is a work group, what is server. Sorry. First is what is peer-to-peer. What is peer-to-peer? Okay. So what is a peer-to-peer means? we have a 2 or more PCs. Okay, so peer-to-peer PCs. It's like a, there is a for example, two PCs are there. They are communicating each other. They're sharing information each other, but there is no server and client relationship. Okay, so if you guess, you take a two systems communicate and share resources like sharing data or maybe a printer. Okay, like that, sharing a data, sharing printer, like that. So sharing storages, okay, sharing resources or a printers kind of stuff. But no server or a client concept. Okay, no server client kind of stuff. No fixed servers. Exactly, say no fixed servers. This is the server, this is the client. Like that, no relationship. Okay, no relationship, no centralized. So we don't go with no centralized. This is peer-to-peer, guys. Next one is server-client relationship. So what is this server-client? So whenever you go to the server client means server provide a service. Server, always see, yesterday also I told, provide a service. Guys, can you able to hear, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And very good. Client access service. Server provide a service, client provide a service. So for example, DHCP server. Our systems are clients, right? So our systems, our PCs are a system, our devices. Okay, all right, DHCP clients. Our devices are clients. There is a DHCP server. Like a router is a DHCP server. Your mobile phone, tablets, your laptops, okay, are a DHCP clients. Okay, so you can see an example like a router is your DHCP server. In this case, okay, and who are the DHCP clients? Your mobile, tablet, your laptop, because they're all connected to through Wi-Fi, right? So Wi-Fi router, your Wi-Fi router, I just that's why Wi-Fi router is a DHCP server, okay, and there are DHCP like this, guys. There is a server is a fixed servers, okay. A system or a device become a server by OS or application, that is also there. Okay, can be by OS or an application. Same in client by OS or application to application also there. Okay, application to application. Mail client. What is mail server? Mail client. So for example, you take a example mail server. What is a mail server? For example, from Microsoft Exchange is an application. Microsoft Exchange is application, is a mail server. And who is a mail client? Mail client. Your web browsers. One is your web browser. Another one is Outlook. You know, I look at Outlook like, see, this is Outlook. Okay, this is my Outlook. Here we can see mails. Okay, Outlook is also a mail client. Understand? This is the application, and this is the application server and client. Okay, can be OS type, means Windows Server, Windows 10, Windows Server, Windows 10, Active Directory, Windows 10. Like there is no chances in here it is. Okay, guys. One more is there. Workgroup and domain. This is the most commonly asked questions in an interview. What is peer-to-peer, server client, workgroup and domain? Most frequently asked questions in the interview. Okay, so workgroup and domain. So compulsory, guys. This is the compulsory question, workgroup and domain. Difference between workgroup and domain. Like that, any question, but same thing is goes on. Here it is little bit explanation is there. So first of all, I will explain what is workgroup and domain. Then I will explain what is Active Directory domain and how to create a domain controller. So I will explain one by one. So guys, it is a lot big theory is there and very big practical is also there. So both are very big. Okay. So compulsory be patient. Already are a lot of patience in my classroom mainly. Okay. Good. But study, guys. No, what happened in very recently? Yeah, I will tell that one story in a break time. So we don't waste time. Guys, look at the work group. All our pieces are in a work group only. By default, all our PCs, all our systems are in a work group. My system is in work group. Your system is in work group. Okay, like that. We are all in the work group. You want to know two ways you can get know CMD. Okay, net accounts. You see, computer role is workstation. Yeah, it's showing workstation only because our voice is workstation. How to get a work group kind of stuff. Net computers or what? No, not like this. Not like this. So we'll go directly from the PC settings kind of stuff. Go to settings, system, scroll down about. Okay. So you can see this is the device name. Okay. No domain information here. It is, I'm going to rename this PC advanced. Rename this PC advanced. See, it is in a work group. It is in the work group. Okay. It is in the work group. And if you see, it is in the work group. Member of work group, not member of domain. Of course, I cannot change to domain. Why can't able to click on this domain? Because of mine is home edition. Windows 10 home edition don't have an option. Windows 10 home editions cannot join into domains. You need a professional pro or an enterprise edition. Windows 10 pro or enterprise editions only can join into the domain. Remember that one. Okay. So many things you have to remember. Remember this one also. Okay. So here it is, member of domain work group, like this. So now I'm in a work group only. So what is this work group? What is this work group? Guys, these are all PCs in my network. Okay, these are all PCs in the network. If PCs devices are in the network, means they can communicate each other, right? So for example, A PC, B PC, C, D, E. These are all PCs in the network. There is no centralized control kind of stuff. Okay, so these are all in the PCs, the network. There are in a work group. Work group. So first one is your work group kind of stuff. Okay. Next, I have a user. For example, user one. log in here. User 2, log in here. User 3, log in here. User 4, log in. User 5, log in. Okay. So each PC having their own user. Which user it is actually? Last time we installed a Windows 10, right? We installed a Windows 10, and there is a user called student 1. Who is student 1? By default,
It's
first user. Yes.
Administrator, sir.
Yes, very good. Very good. Correct. That is administrator. It means I have my own administrator. Okay. I don't have any, someone will administrate. So I have my own administrator account. I have my own administrator account in my individual PCs. Like user 1 is admin for A, user 2 is admin for B, user 3 is admin for C, user 4 is admin for D, user 5 is admin for E. So like that, individual PCs having their own administrators. Okay, no centralized administrator. No centralized administrators. First. Second, guys, look at here. Is user 1 can able to log in here? Is user 1 can able to log into B? User 1, we can't log in, right? We can't log in into another PCs because your user information stores in your PC only. Your user information stores in your PC only, not in other PCs. Yeah, it's a yellow color is very light. Okay, your user information stores in your PC only. Okay, not in other PCs, not in other PCs. So user 1 information not stored here, not stored here. Okay, user 1 store information not is here, so we cannot able to log in. Okay, so user 1 cannot log in here. Next, user 3 can control this DPC. User 3 can control DPC. It cannot control. It cannot control. Okay, so we cannot control other PCs. We can control our PCs only. We can control our PCs. Any policies, firewalls, group policies, behavior, installations, uninstallations, printer access, network access, IP address, everything we can control ourselves only. So I am controlling my PC. I want to do what I can able to do, so everything in my PC I will do it. I cannot control other PCs. Other PC not controlling me also. Okay, so that is work group. That is called a work group. Each individual PC is having their own administrator accounts. Okay, and the users of that PC, user of the PCs, like for example, one PC contains multiple users. For example, this is user 6, user 1, user 6, or easy for easy purpose. User 1, user 2, user 3. Okay, a PC can have a multiple accounts, but all the account information stores in that PC only. Like a user 1 information stores in APC. User 2 stores in BPC. User 3 user 33 information stores in CPC only. And who is authenticating user 1? Who is authenticating user 1?
User 1 only.
APC only. In a APC only it is getting authenticated. User 2 getting authenticated in a BPC only. User 3 is getting authenticated in the CPC only. So each and individual user is authenticated in their own PC only. Maybe it is, you know that one normally it is normal behavior only. Why we are learning very specially? Because next thing we'll have that central kind of stuff. That's why I'm telling specifically Okay, where it is authenticating kind of stuff. So first of all, we write a lines for this one for a work group. So what is work group and domain? So we have to write it differences wise. So we have to write a differences wise, but I am writing in a one straight line only. So if possible, I will see that one. Okay. No centralized administration. Okay. No centralized administration, no centralized authentication. All are no kind of stuff on no centralized authentication. This type of model we call as a decentralized. Okay. Decentralized administration. Okay. No centralized administration means decentralized administration. Each individual device or a PC. I put a system for easy purpose. Okay. Each individual system, either it is server or a normal system, anything. Okay, is individual system. Okay, has their as own administrator account or administrator account or a administrator. Okay. 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 Is one administrator. User of a system or a server or a client, user as a device. Okay, whatever the name you put it. Okay, user of a system. Okay, user system. Okay, user information can control. No. So user information, users information is easy stores in the system only. User authenticated device the system only. Okay. No centralized authentications, no centralized administration, decentralized administration, individual PCs having individual accounts. Okay. No centralized security also. No centralized security. Okay. Guys, here one more point is remember like this. For understanding what I'm saying is, so I have a printer. For example, I have a printer here. Okay. Okay, this is my printer. So add a printer here like this. Okay. I put a little bit printer near. Okay. This is my printer. Network printer. Not normal printer, it is network printer. Okay. Network printer. So what is this network printer? So we'll see it. Yes, if this printer, either it is connected to a PC or it is directly connected to the network. But I have a printer in my home. So how to take a print? How to connect a printer with the IP address if it is in a network printer. Yeah, of course. Mine is a network printer, Wi-Fi printer. So how to connect? I should know how to connect a piece, how to connect a printer, shared printer, how to connect a printer. I should know how to load the drivers, how to connect a printer. Think guys, think like this. There is a printer in the office. There is a printer in the office. 100 users are there. Can you go to each individual PC, configure the printer for 100 users? Is it easy? Or 100 users knows how to configure a printer in their systems? Think.
No, sir.
Okay. So like that, easily say workgroup is like a self-service type. Either self-service or someone give to come configure. Okay. So if in case morning time, tiffin center, morning time, tiffin center, dosa bandis and all, if you go, it's a self-service type. Why? If someone is there to give you a service, it will take a lot of time. That too, normal roadside hotels means, so it's very difficult to manage the service, servers, benches and all. Okay, like if 10 members are there, we can able to go and each system and configure it, no problem. If 100 members are there, difficult. 200 members are very difficult. So that is the problem with your work group. Okay. So resources like a printers or scanners or storage, sharing. Okay. So resources meaning is like a shared printers, scanners or data, shared data. Okay. Access is difficult and less secure. Less secure because of. Do you remember we done a sharing yesterday? Okay, we given everyone permission. It means anyone in the network can access. If they know my username and password, anyone can able to access. Okay, so don't worry about things. Okay, everyone permission I given. Anybody can put it data. So where is the control? Where is the user based control or a system based control? We are not controlling that one. So anybody can able to access. Okay, sharing printer scanners or sharing a data. Okay, shared data access is not only a difficult and also less secure in a workgroup. Guys, the difficult spelling is character. There are some regular words are very difficult to.
DIFF.
A double F is there. And DI, not DE. Okay. Okay.
No problem, sir. We will understand.
Then I have to implement spellings. My childhood days means like I'm in Telugu medium, so obviously. Even I done engineering, I spoke in English, like everything, but spellings are very difficult. Next one is domain, guys. Domain. When you search for a domain definition or about a domain in the Google, you'll get a different kind of answers. Not all answers are correct. Okay, so different ways domain is different. Okay, normally when you have got a job and you are telling to your friends or any family members, relatives, so then they said, "What is your domain?" So what is your domain means either network domain or server domain, a development domain. So what's domain it is? Okay, or maybe some project related things domain it is. So domain, the English meaning is little different. Is very simply say domain means group. In English meaning is simply say domain meaning is a group. Okay, it's a area of territory owned or controlled by a particular ruler or a government. So that is a domain. The French domains of something it is there. Okay, so in a computer that is a different one. Okay, physics is different like that. So domain is a group or a area or a certain place which is controlling. This is my place like that. Okay, that is my domain. Okay, that is my domain kind of stuff. that is my area. So area difference is my domain, my area is geographically we can say area, but also we can say my subject. My area means my subject. It is, for example, you're asking me about your interview date, or you are asking about a cognizant, or you are asking about something like. So I said like it is not my domain. Sir, when is the next recruitment? It is not my domain. So please ask your Pawni madam or Sharon sir or Mithun sir, like that. I will ask like that. Okay, sir, when we will get a offer letter? So this it's not my domain. You're asking me about sir, how to install a Windows server, how to manage Windows or how to install application in virtual machine. It is my domain, my technical domain. So that's like a word will be there. So don't get confused, guys, when in interviews or when is in interview or any technical interview. If the question is work group and domain or a domain, it's a Active Directory domain. Okay, the question is work group and domain or a domain. It is Active Directory domain. So compulsory, remember that. That is Active Directory domain they are asking. Okay, so compulsory you must know it. So what is this domain? It is a centralized authentication. Centralized administration and centralized authentication. Not more points are there. So compulsory centralized, decentralized word must be used. Centralized authentication, centralized administrations. There is a authentication authorization thing is also there. Okay. Central server, which is nothing but a domain controller. Authenticate all users in domain. Okay, all users. Every user will authenticated by central server only. Okay, controlled by server like a without okay. Um, Domain administrator is administrator of all systems. All system. He is administrator. Only single sole administrator or administrator accounts. Okay. The last one is of course, user authentication by central server, which is nothing but a domain controller. Resource access. Okay. Resource access like a shared printer, scanner. Okay. Data access is easy and secure. You need to search automatically. You will get secure and controlled. It is easy, controlled, and secure. Okay, so these are the major differences between workgroup and domain. Okay, there is not only that one, it is so many other things also there, so we can go for it once again. So what is workgroup and domain, guys? Very important is workgroup is a decentralized administration, domain is centralized administration. Compulsory remember, decentralized administration, centralized administration. Okay, so in a work group, individual PCs are administrating their own PC. Okay, individual users are individual PCs having their own administrator, Okay, individual PCs having their own administrator accounts. Next, users are authenticated by that PC. User information stores in that PC, and user information stores in that PC, and authenticated by that PC only. Okay. User information stores in centralized PC. System or a server, which is nothing but again domain controller. So like that. Okay. Any resources if you are accessing, if you know very well, like you should know IP address, you should know username, you should know password, then only we can able to access it. Of course. Also, it is less secure because once you are access, it is everyone type of permissions. Anybody can able to access type. Okay. So two things are there. It is difficult as well as less secure in the work group. So why it is difficult? Because of each individual user must know how to access, like a IP address, username, password must be known by individual users. And if you know any information or maybe all information, anytime you can able to access, or you can do anything, because we given everyone permission, read permission, write permission, like that. So we cannot control individual users permissions. Either you give to everyone or nothing to anyone. So difficult as well as a less secure. Next, come to the domain kind of days. Okay, so domain kind of stuff. So we'll see it is. Every PC has their own account locally. The account in the PC is called a local account. Remember, guys, user in the individual PC in the domain environment, that is called a local account. Users in the domain environment. Okay, I will tell that all the stories and all. I'm removing the users. Just I want to use the picture for this one. Okay. I want to use this picture again. So actually, I can draw the picture again, but I'm getting little headache. So concentration is not there today at all. Little tension. Okay. So this is why it is
Yes,
very
sir.
big, because it's a server. Yeah, tell me. Okay. Okay. Because it's a server. This is my server. Server name is server S1. Individual PCs are same names only, no difference in the names. Each individual PCs. Okay. So listen very carefully. Okay. So this is my domain controller. This is my domain controller DC. This is my domain controller. So how it is become domain controller and all, I will explain after this one. But look at this is the domain controller. Okay. So in the domain controller, so we join the individual PCs into the domain, then only this PCs become domain computers. This is individual workgroup PCs. You have to change the membership from workgroup to domain. Workgroup to domain. You have to go to individual PCs and you have to change their membership is workgroup to domain. Then only they become a domain computers. The first thing is I'm adding these individual PCs to domain. Each individual PCs to domain. Like this. Okay. So here it is added like this. Then we will get a names are listed in the my domain controller. So A, B, C, D, like this. Okay. 4 PCs are added. A, B, C, D I added into my domain. So I changed my, I told domain is just a name. Okay, domain is just a name. So I went to my each individual PC system and go to this, rename this PC advanced, go to change their member of domain, click the number of domain, enter the domain name. It's just a name to tell these are belongs to this particular name only, this particular name only. So like that, these all PCs information stores in my domain controller. Of course, there is a printer is also there in my border like this. Okay, printer is also there. Next, I create a users in this one, not in this one. I'm creating users like a user 1, user 2, user 3, user 4, user 5, user 6, user 7. Okay, like this. I created a users. Guys, look at here. Because of A, B, C, D are domain computers, the user 1, user 2, user 3, user 4, user 5, user 6, user 7, user 8, user 9 like that are my domain users. Okay, domain users. The words you can just look at here. Domain. Domain computers. A, B, C, D. Domain users. Users you created in the domain. Users you created in the domain. Like user 1, user 2, user 3, user 4, user 5, user 6, user 7, okay, user 7, okay. So these are the users, okay. So like this, these users I created. 1 second, just. Okay, so last part, guys. Just I don't know if you are understand or not. That's the problem. Okay, very silent is there, no? Silent environment. That's it. Yeah, it is a domain. So what is a domain? First of all, centralized administration. Centralized administration means it's a domain controller which controls the domain environment. So it will control domain computers and domain users also. Okay. So users in the domain controller are a domain users. Domain users can log into any domain computer. Domain users can log into any domain computer and they will authenticated by domain controller. So they will get authenticated by domain controller. They'll get authenticated by domain controller. Okay. So user 1 is log into PCA, user 2 log into PCB, user 3 log into PCD, and user 4 log into DPC. Now, when they are trying to log in, request will go to domain controller and the domain controller authenticate the user so they can able to log in. Okay. User 2, when it is login, so it can able to log in. Otherwise, we'll change a little bit. Why always follow the same sequence? User 1 A, user 2 BPC, user 5 CPC, user 6 okay, user 7 DPC. Like this also we can do it. For example, user 4 in a APC, user 3 in the BPC. Okay, so randomly also we can log in. Means today I log into one PC, tomorrow I will log into another PC because all the PCs are in the domain. So any PC you can able to log in because of who is authenticating. Centralized server is authenticating users. Centralized server is authenticating users. Guys, one small question. Okay, try. Can I log in with user 1 here? This user 1. Can I log in here or not? Based on the data given. Based on the line I've written.
No, sir. No.
No, sir.
No, no, we cannot log in. Very good. Question is why?
It is out of domain control.
Very good. It is out of my domain. It is out of my domain. Okay. That's why I put a border. I put a boundary or a border, right? Within this border means it's a within the domain. It is outside of my border. It is not in my domain. So last time someone is asking me a question that sir, we don't understand this domain and kind of concept. For example, we have a political parties. Okay, so this is one of my where I learned the server kind of stuff. He told this kind of person. Okay, so for example, I have a X party. I have a XYZ party. ABC party is there. Two parties are there. Okay, you are a member of XYZ party. Can be a member of ABC party?
No.
No. Okay. You are individual person, like a work group. You are an individual person means you are not belongs to any party. So you are not belongs to any party. Very simple, right? For example, XYZ party given a one rule. All party members attend tomorrow. Are you going to attend if you are a user too? We don't attend, right? We know that is policy is not for us because it's a we are not in that domain. We are not so the domain is not connected to us. Okay. So like this is not a government started a policy. All party members, not a government policy. It is the party president or someone is create a new policy like all the party members go to door to door survey about some campaigning kind of stuff. You're an individual person. That is not apply on you. Okay. The rules of ABC party not applied on this and as well as this one. The rules of like this won't apply on another one. So like that we can able to check it. Rules won't apply of one domain to another things. Okay. Only up to your domain related only. For example, ABC party think like from 2022 January onwards, I want to increase the salaries. Okay, I want to increase the salaries of party members. These party members will get increased salary. It's not like that, right? So completely both are different. I think you got a point. I don't want to confuse. Okay, yeah, very good, guys. You understand difference between domain outside of the domain. Yeah, tell me.
Sir, how many maximum users we can have, sir, for a single PC in this domain control?
Single domain controller depends upon the server, version. Now it is practically unlimited. Number of users are practically unlimited. Number of devices practically unlimited for our standard and data center. Okay. Standard and data centers, practically unlimited users, but there is a limit will be there. So if you go to 2000, 2003, 2008, okay, NT like that. So there is a limitation is 1,000 users initially NT. 2000 we got some 10,000 users in 2000 edition like that. Okay, because Active Directory has some sizes there. Okay, so I will tell that one. No, that is the thing. Okay. Active Directory, domain, that kind of stuff, again, I will tell, but understand guys, domain thing. So not only this thing, what is the control or resource access, guys? Using a policy, certain policies like a group policies, I can deploy an application. Domain controller deploy an application to individual PCs. Domain controller deploy certain services to individual PCs. Also control the behavior of the users. Access permissions to the resources. Also controlled by your domain controller. Also controlled by domain controller. So that is your workgroup and domain, guys. Again, what is a domain or Active Directory domain is actually question is Active Directory domain. What is a domain? Domain means centralized administration and centralized authentication. Means centralized administration, authenticated also centralized only, because of user information and computer information stores in a domain controller. Stores in centralized system or a server or a domain controller. Central server domain controller authenticate all users in the domain. Central server domain controller, central server or a domain controller authenticate all users in the domain. So these are all domain users. So who is authenticating? My server, central server only. Okay. Domain administrator is administrator of all systems. Users and computer information stores in centralized system. User authentication by central server. I think I've written 2 times. Now, the resources access like a shared printer, scanners, data or storages, whatever it is. Okay, is access is very easy because of how I will access. I don't ask printer. I don't need to search where is the printer. I don't need to ask where is my printer. Simply through domain controller, I can deploy the printers. Through the domain controller, I can deploy the printer. Otherwise, I will ask the domain controller about what are the shared things available in the network. So it will give you the list of what are the things are shared. Okay, because of your user authentication, I can control who can able to access the resources, who cannot able to access the resources. That's why it is accessing of printers, scanners, data like that. Accessing is easy and controlled and as well as secured. Okay, so that is a main difference between workgroup and domain. So next part, these 3 things are important, guys: peer-to-peer, server client, workgroup, and domain. So difference between workgroup and domain is workgroup is a decentralized administration, domain is a centralized administration. Workgroup, each individual PCs are authenticated by a individual. Each PC is authenticated by their own administrator account. In a domain, centralized server authenticate all users in the domain. Okay, all users in the domain. Okay, so individual PC stores user information, computer information, and their authentication processed by individual PCs only. But in a domain, central PC stores user information, computer information, and authentication processed by centralized process only. Okay, resources sharing is very easy, but it is okay. Is difficult, means individual users should know how to access the resources and also it is not much secure. But in a domain, it is secure to access the resources and as well as very easy to access because of through domain controller we can deploy the resources to the users. Okay, that is enough. Okay, next one is again I will go to what is Active Directory domain. Next one is I will explain what is Active Directory domain, what is domain controller, and what is forest, tree, okay, site, okay, like this. These are certain definitions are there. I will share one PPT. Please go to kind of stuff things also there. Okay. So of course I will go to what is the defining definition of Active Directory domain. Okay. And what is a domain controller? How to create a domain controller? Okay, what is in that one? What is a forest level domain controller and all? Big theory part is there, so definitely we should wait. So Active Directory domain, another like Workgroup and domain. This is the thing, but when it is come to the Active Directory domain, so it is okay a logical boundary of users and computers. Logical boundary of users and computers. Logical boundary of users and computers. Okay. So that is one thing. Already because you already seen the boundary thing. So you understand the what is that one. So it is a logical boundary. Logical boundary means we are not cutting the wire here. See, it is both A, B, C, D, E. Also, all are in a same network. Network wise, all are in a same network. But domain wise, not. So that is logical boundary. Those who are in our boundary, they belongs to my domain only. Okay. What is Active Directory? Okay, there is no definitions of Active Directory, guys. If you search in a Google, what is Active Directory? Okay, what is Active Directory? What is a Active Directory? What is Active Directory? If you search in 2003, Microsoft launched a service of central authentication. Something is there. Okay, you can read it, but you have to add those things to here also. Okay, so Active Directory is not there. So it is very simple. Active Directory database is there. Okay, so Active Directory maintains a database. Active Directory is a service maintains a is and service or a directory service. Actually, say it is a directory service. Maintain Active Directory database and authentication. Authentication. So, what is this kind of stuff? What is Active Directory database? What is Active Directory database? Okay. So, guys, these are all very important things. That's why I'm telling. What is Active Directory database? Stores user identity, means user information, computer information, computer group, resources, and services. Information. Uh, so, AD Active Directory stores at user entity, computer, okay, like this, and also authenticate. Authenticate users and computers when they login to network. That is the thing. Okay. So when they log into network means through network only. Okay, through network. So login to network means, guys, login means individual PC. Like we have Windows 10, we log in. That's it. Okay. But login to network means you're login to domain controller. You're login to domain. Okay, login to domain. So that is the thing. Okay. Or we can say which hosts the authentication service. Okay. So Active Directory hosts authentication service. Okay. So like that, so we can able to tell. Guys, domain controller is nothing but a server. It is nothing but a server with a ADDS role installed and configure as domain controller. It's nothing but a git store Active Directory database. Name of the Active Directory database is ntds.dit. What is ntds.dit? Sorry. What is ntds.dit? What is NT? Guys, whenever you see in a Microsoft, NT means new technology. New technology. New technology directory service. Okay. New technology directory service. Directory information tree. Directory information tree. Okay. That's it for theory. Of course, next is also theory is there. Theory come practical, I will tell guys. So take a break. Why? Because of I want to start my virtual machine before we are taking a break. Okay. So I will start my virtual machine. So in that one, we configure our server. Okay, we configure our server for a domain controller. We are configuring our server with a domain controller. So one by one step, I will explain. Not this is not our server, right? Already I have a server. Lot of servers are there. This is my server, guys. I didn't start my client. Remember, I have a 4 GB RAM available. More than 4 GB RAM is available. I'm giving only 2 GB for my server. So 2 GB by server. You can give 1 GB if you are a 4 GB laptop people. Okay. So this is 2 GB RAM. Little slow, but it is okay. VMnet 1, guys. Remember, 2 GB RAM, VMnet 1. Okay, 2 GB RAM, VMnet 1. Power on this virtual machine. Okay, already OS is installed. Okay, and VMware tools also installed. VMware tools also installed. It will take time to little time, not much time to install. Okay, so compulsory go through these definitions: peer-to-peer, server client, workgroup and domain, and what is a domain and what is a domain controller. It is a physical system. Physical server. Physical server or virtual server. So don't go with sir. It is a physical machine. It is a virtual machine kind of stuff. Physical or meaning is that is a system. That's it. Okay. It's not like that. It's a virtual server, virtual system kind of stuff. It is not like that. Okay. And I said authentication. See, one more I will add it here. Authentication protocols. What are the authentication protocols? Are key or B or OS, Kerberos, LDAP, LDAP. These are the authentication protocols. So Windows Server use both the protocols and mainly Kerberos authentication protocol, highly secured authentication protocol. Port number is 88. $389. Yeah, my server is already open. So don't worry, guys. So whatever it is, it will take a break. Okay, take a break for 10 minutes. Okay.
Sir, can we change a RAM after installing the Windows server?
Yeah, you can change it. You can increase or decrease. But
Yeah.
on shut down your virtual machine. Then you can increase or decrease the RAM. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So 15 minutes to take a break.